Greetings and salutations to you all once again. It is me, the Ravenous Spectre, and this is another pickups video, and it's also my Black Friday's pickups video, so it's like 2 in 1, you know. I apologize, I'm not wearing a geeky, nerdy gamer shirt tonight. It's a shirt I've actually had since back in like 2000 or something like that, 2002 or whatever. It says, when I'm good, I'm very good, but when I'm bad, I'm even better. Yeah, kind of like how I feel right now playing Dead Rising 4, which is one of the pickups I'm going to talk about. And this is what the previous Dead Risings should have been. 1, 2, 3, and 3. Well, actually, 3 got rid of the time limit, thank God, because I can't stand time limits in games. I hate time limits with a passion. Seriously, especially knowing how games are nowadays and how big they are. I apologize for being a little off center here, but this is just how it needs to be set up at the moment. But yeah, it's freaking amazing. It really is. I have been playing this game nonstop today, and well, besides the fact that I had to go to a gym and work out some of this fat off of my ass. But yeah, it's go buy Dead Rising 4. Go buy it. From what I've heard, it's supposed to come out on the PS4 in a year. I can't wait a year. I had to go ahead and get it on Xbox One. And apparently it may be coming to the Switch. That's just what I've heard, just rumors, you know, don't quote me on it or nothing like that. But anyways, considering I already been talking about Dead Rising 4, guess what? It's Dead Rising 4. Freaking amazing game. Absolutely. I have been playing it a lot. This is what the Dead Rising game should have been since the first one came out. This is like the quintessential Dead Rising as far as I'm concerned. Screw what the haters say. You know, I guess, I mean, everybody has their own taste, you know. Some people like the time limit, some people don't. But apparently, they had, like, the time limit being, like, DLC or something, which I think is BS, honestly. I don't know why they would do something like that. You know, why can't they just go ahead and put in the options, and then you can just go ahead and choose whether or not you want to have it being on there or not. I don't understand that. Honestly, I would turn it off, you know. but it shouldn't be like freaking DLC. That's stupid. It's an option. You should have it in the menu. It's stupid. Oh my god. Besides that being a really stupid decision, once again, a stupid decision that they made. Now that's just from what I've heard. I don't know. I don't get into a lot of DLC crap or nothing like that, you know, but it's a stupid decision. Just have it be an option where you can turn it on or off. Whatever, man. You know, whatever. Um, but yeah, definitely loving it without a shadow of a doubt. Pardon me for a second. I was a little parched. I apologize. That was diet caffeine free, by the way. It wasn't like full blown Mountain Dew or nothing like that. I was like, you were talking about working out at the gym and your fat ass is drinking Mountain Dew. It's caffeine free diet, so I'm safe. So STFU. The next one I actually beat yesterday, as a matter of fact, and that is Gears of War 4. Great game. Absolutely awesome. I really do like it. I love how the color palette is much more wider now. It's not just browns and grays and blacks and all that. You know, those boring colors. It actually has a wider color palette now. I like the new characters. I like the way that the story is going. The final act was amazing. There's maybe three or four things that I can actually pick out of this game that I really loved. You know, besides the usual pop and stop, pop and shoot kind of thing, take cover, shoot your enemy kind of thing. But I really do think that after this one, that they're going to end up going somewhere different with the game, like the series. I really do think that they are at some point in time, because you can only go so far with a specific genre until you really need to make a lot of innovations to it. And from what I've played on this, because I've played 1, 2, and 3, beaten all 3 of them, played a little bit of Judgment, haven't beaten it yet, but I've heard about that before, how people either it's polarizing, whether people like it or whether people don't. But I haven't gotten through that one yet. But those 3, the way that they ran, I'm just like, okay, the story is great. I think it's awesome. And I still think the story is great in this one. And I like the new direction that it's taking, considering the fact that it was going from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One. And I'm definitely interested to see what's going to happen with the next entry in the series. And I really do hope, it'd be really cool if they had some RPG elements, like where you could pick different dialogue choices, and then after that you could go from like different story branches or something like that. Or it could boil down to whether you could actually level up weapons and get different skill points, and whether it would be either ranged or melee could give you different abilities and move sets and things like that. I really do think that would be really amazing. I really do, especially if they were to have like a branching story path kind of thing. That would really, truly be awesome. The next one here is Recore. This is honestly an awesome game. I got it for like 15 bucks. It was either Best Buy or Walmart, something like that, on one of their Black Friday deals. Definitely a great game. Definitely worth that price. I really do like it. I haven't gotten too far into it, but honestly, if you have an Xbox One, definitely pick it up. And you know how I normally end up having like PlayStation games on here, but I've kind of picked up a little bit with the Xbox One titles because I'm trying to get the exclusives. That's my main thing, is really getting exclusives when it comes to Xbox. But yeah, it's definitely cool, definitely awesome. You guys should really check it out. It's a third-person uh, shooter game where basically you're this girl. I think her name is Jewel, and she can get these different robots to be able to assist her on her quest. Right now, I just have like a dog robot that I've been leveling up over time. And you kill these robots, and you take their cores to be able to use to level up your robots and be able to use towards various other things as well, I suppose. Like I said, I haven't gotten too far into it, but honestly, the gameplay and the action in it is superb. I definitely like it, absolutely, because it was kind of, some people, it kind of, I guess it wasn't really rushed out the gate, but a lot of people really didn't like it too much. But for me, I'm really loving it. I truly am. So definitely, if you guys can find it on the cheap, definitely check it out. And of course, I'm going to end up having a PlayStation game now, as well as the big mamma jamma that has taken years to reach us, and that is Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, it's got a little holographic cover thingy, whatever going on there. Really like this game, really do. Always been a Final Fantasy fan. Definitely think that it's worth it. I don't know how far I've really gotten into it. My characters right now are like level 31, I believe, something like that. But where I'm at right now in the game, I want to do all the side quests that I can before I progress onward. I think I'm on chapter 5, I believe. But yeah, definitely, I really do like it. Definitely check it out for sure if you've had any type of doubts or anything about it. It's an open world. It's Final Fantasy. It takes a whole new. It just, the way I feel about the Final Fantasy series is each new Final Fantasy needs to have a new type of thing happen to it. It doesn't need to be like the normal, usual thing that's happening over and over and over again. Something needs to innovate. Something needs to be new, and that's one of the things that I think 15 really went with it being open world, with it having all these other side quests, with it being able to do all of these things, and especially with like the the bro trip, I guess you could call it, as with Noctis, the main character, and his little guardians or buddies. It kind of felt to me like he was like a male version of Yuna. Like he had these guardian guys trying to look out for him, trying to escort him from one place to another, kind of thing. It had that feeling to it. But you can only play as Noctis, and from what I've heard, Square Enix is going to end up releasing like a multiplayer kind of thing. But I think it's only for certain missions or certain parts of the game, something like that. But they're supposed to be updating it as time wears onward and so forth, all throughout the next year. But if somebody beats it, they may not want to go back to that new content. It kind of just makes me think, why couldn't all this crap already been out, already on the game, knowing how long you took to make the damn thing? Why couldn't it have already been on the disc when we ended up getting it? We would have had a massive game already. From what I've heard, especially from some friends of mine, they didn't really like the story, the main story. They said it was kind of short, so I don't really know. I have to find out for myself whether I really do like it or not. The next one is Darksiders, War Mastered Edition. I was spoken about this before in my Journey Onward series, and I kind of called it the Whoremaster Edition because of the fact that it just seems like HD remasters. Now, sorry, I was off the camera there doing that. Remasters nowadays have just been whored out pretty much. The cutscenes, the audio was skipping, the lip syncing wasn't on course. The audio was also crackling, especially some during the gameplay. And a friend of mine who's a big PC gamer, his was the exact opposite. The cutscenes and everything were great, but when it came time for the gameplay, I think he said like the frames per second were dropping down into the single digits. That's some bullshit right there. But from what I last heard, he said they fixed it and they patched it in, so it's working okay now, which it should have been right out of the damn gate to begin with. The next one here is Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. I do have the first one. I haven't beaten it. I've gotten a lot farther in the first one than I have with the second one here. And there is a few different things that they've kind of added that's different. I haven't really given it too much time. but I kind of just started out playing it and whatnot. And honestly, it is cool. It is. It's more Dragon Ball. But the thing is, it kind of gets to me is they need to get off of the same path of the same crap with Dragon Ball Z, starting out from all the way at the beginning of the timeline, all the way through the, you got the Saiyan saga, you got the, what is it, you got the Frieza saga, you got the Cell saga, Boost saga, so on and so forth, and I'm just like, get original here. We have gone through this main storyline 50 billion gajillion freaking times, and we need something that's more original, something that's got some more oomph to it, that doesn't just make us sit there and be like, oh, we know what's going to happen next, we know what's going to happen here, because we know what's going to happen because we've been through the same storyline 50 gajillion freaking times. So honestly, yeah, it's a fun fighting game, especially if you're probably playing with other players. But obviously, I'm not going to be playing with other players because PS Plus can kiss my ass. So I'm not going to be playing online with anyone with this. But overall, I'll just be playing it as it is, and then just going from there. I don't know if you can play cooperatively side by side or not, like with couch co-op. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. And jumping off of the PlayStation course here real quick, this is a Dragon Ball game that I actually had mentioned in my Journey Onward series once again, and that is Dragon Ball Fusions. Definitely a great game. It is like a strategy RPG that is on the 3DS. It has an original storyline to it. Definitely really awesome. Put a little bit of time into it. I absolutely love it. And you create your own character from a few different races and go from there and customize them and meet up with other Dragon Ball characters. But that's just it. Even though you're meeting up with these other Dragon Ball characters, they're like chibi style kid-sized versions of Dragon Ball characters, at least the one I've seen so far. And you can actually fuse with other characters to be able to create like one ultimate main character, because the fusion thing was going on in Dragon Ball Z anyways. I don't know if it was in the original Dragon Ball or not. But honestly, this is a really cool game. It's original, like I mentioned before, about Dragon Ball Xenoverse, of recycling the same crap over and over. This is an original story and definitely one worth checking out. And of course, next we got the Uncharted Collection. I've got all three of these, which is the first, second, and third one, which is only the single-player campaigns. It hasn't been any multiplayer stuff or anything like that because they took all of that out, which is fine, well, and good with me. But these were really great games. I had them on PS3, played them, beat them, loved them, and I thought to myself, you know what? This is one of my Black Friday deals as well. I got it for like $15. I believe it was from Best Buy or Walmart, one or the other. And honestly, it's really great. It's great to go back into these games again. It's great to relive them again on a new console with the screen, with everything that the console offers, with the screenshots, with the streaming, with bumping up probably the frames per second, so on and so forth, and the graphics and all that. Which honestly, it didn't really need that. It didn't really need the graphics bump. It didn't need frames per second. Everything that I played was fine. It was great. It was wonderful. So I guess they were just pointing it over to make money. It's like I mentioned about the whole remaster thing before. I was like, you know what, if I can get them really cheap and it's something that's interests me, then hey, you know what, I'll probably dive right into it. And for what I played from this so far, haven't had any problems with it. So definitely one to check out if you guys have never played the Uncharted series, or you want to, get them on a newer console or whatever and see what type of features that it could offer. The next one that I have here, my girlfriend actually ended up getting me. She got it at a local nerdy game shop kind of thing. And I was actually wanting to get this game for a long while now. I played some of the first one back in the day, and Destruction Derby 2. I never really had a chance to play. I played the first one some, but the second one I never really had a chance to. And just to be able, and I'm not a racing game fan by any means at all, but just the way that there was just so much wacky, crazy destruction that happened in these games is one of the main things that really had pulled me towards it always, especially like with the Burnout series. To me, it was never about any racing. It was never about that. It was about blowing stuff up and wrecking cars and doing all of that. So yeah, this is kind of like one of those first games that really came out that really brought the whole car destruction thing into full force and so on and so forth. So definitely love the Destruction Derby series. Haven't played all of the games in the series, but I've played the first one, and I think I played maybe one or two other ones at some point in time, but I can't remember. I think they were on PlayStation 2, as a matter of fact. I think that's kind of where the series left off at. These next ones I'm actually going to do all together because, as far as I'm concerned, they belong all together. And all of them are on the PlayStation 2, and that is WWF SmackDown Just Bring It, WWF, or actually it was WWE at the time, because the World Wildlife Federation got their panties in a bunch, considering the fact that the WWF, World Wrestling Federation at the time, had WWF for years on end, and then all of a sudden World Wildlife Federation gets a tampon up their ass and complain about it, and so then what World Wrestling Entertainment, as it's known now, had to go and change it, even though they've had WWF for years, and you didn't freaking realize that. Give me a freaking break. As far as I'm concerned, they should say WWF. It sounded cooler that way. Their whole get the F out thing that they ended up putting on at the beginning of their shows of Raw and SmackDown. I'm like, yeah, that's a quirky little thing, but nah, you need to be WWF like you were before, so many times before. There's actually the shirt that I want to get that has two pandas on it. One of them is holding a steel chair and about to hit the other panda, because a panda is like, for the WWF, like the World Wildlife Federation, like their logo or whatever. And so it actually has another panda over that panda holding a steel chair fixing to hit it, and it says WWF on the bottom. I'd love to have that shirt. That's freaking awesome. But yeah, it's WWE. God, I want to say F so bad. WWE SmackDown, Shut Your Mouth. And of course, we also got WWE SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. Now, these games, all three of these, from what I've seen online, go for like anywhere between probably $20 to $40 online. Online now. Online. And I went to a local game shop thing that's probably about 40 minutes away from here. I found one of these, and I got these for a piece, was like, one of them was $3, the other one was $3, and the other one was $4 or $5, something like that. So I really came out good with these. I used to have these on PS2 before I was a dumbass and ended up selling my older PS2 at that point in time. Of course, I've made a little vlog about that on my Journey Onward series. No, it wasn't my Journey Onward series. It was a completely different one, like when we screw up sales or something that we make, or buying games and we make mistakes buying them or selling them or something like that. But yeah, I really did like these. This right here is what wrestling games meant to me. This right here, this holy trinity right here, this awesome trilogy, if you will, whatever, was what gaming meant to me in terms of wrestling. The gameplay, everything about it, the creator wrestlers, the creating modes, everything. This was what wrestling meant to me. Not that simulation crap, that slow, boring simulation crap I can't freaking stand nowadays. The 2K series has they have castrated wrestling games. They have castrated it and threw their balls into the fire, because wrestling games are not like what they used to be, and I refuse to play that crap. I tried to get into it. I tried. Lord help me, I tried when WWE 13 first came out, or 2K, what the piss ever it is, first came out. Tried to do it. Couldn't get into it. To me, the controls and the gameplay and everything that was in these games, especially in No Mercy and also WrestleMania 2000, was what made wrestling games to me, honestly. Because even reviewers and things that I've seen, and it's not just a few here and there, it's a bunch of other ones as well, have complained about how slow and sluggish, which wasn't in these games, but in the 2K series, slow and sluggish that the gameplay is. Even when I had created a wrestler, when I create a wrestler in these games and I go and play in different modes, I adjust exactly what type of attributes and things that I want, how things are going. I don't have that much freedom in the 2K series, and that's one of the things that pisses me off. I'll go into a match and get my ass kicked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, losing match after match after match after match. I wouldn't do that in these games. These games actually empowered you. To me, in the 2K series, it just makes you feel like just a weakling, like a wimp, and it aggravates me. Even putting it on the easiest setting, it's still hard. It's still aggravating as piss. So anyways, yeah. So until wrestling games actually get back to what made them great, and also talking about No Mercy and also talking about WrestleMania 2000, the 2K series can go suck a dick. That's my 2 cents. I hate it, knowing how much of a wrestling fan that I am, and I hate the direction that wrestling games have gone. I can't freaking stand it. I really can't. Just one more lovely one more lovely genre of games that I really loved to play back in the PS2 days, just getting slapped to the wayside. But anyways, onward to the next thing, and it's actually two Wii games. One of them is Dragon Quest Swords, the Masked Queen and the Tower of Mirrors. Now, I have heard positive things about this, and I've heard negative things about this. I've heard that it's like the most kid-friendly, user-friendly, whatever game, and yeah, it has the motion controls, but apparently the motion controls are so simple that you won't even have to worry about being overly complicated with the freaking motion controls. I haven't played it yet. I've seen some footage, and I got this like really cheap. I mean, I think I paid anywhere between $4 to $7 for it, something like that. And I was really wanting to give it a shot. I am a Dragon Quest fan, so I went ahead and picked it up, and it's also complete. Thank goodness, because sometimes you'll get some of these RPGs, if you will, or like the Dragon Quest series, and sometimes they won't be complete. And so there goes my stack. It fell right over. I belched and it said, "Screw you, I'm falling over," so it fell over. And the last game that I have here to show you guys is Knight's Journey of Dreams. Now, I don't know if this is a remake of the Dreamcast version, or if this is the Dreamcast just with updated visuals, or if this, I think that was the first damn thing I said, whatever. But the thing is with this one, I have always been a fan of Knights back when I played on Sega Saturn. I think it was on Dreamcast, wasn't it? I'm not really sure. I know it was on Saturn. I think it might have been on Dreamcast, or like the Saturn version was on Dreamcast or something, but whatever. But yeah, I'm really glad, and I got this like really cheap too. I got it for, I think it was probably $4 or something like that. I don't know, but I'm really glad that I got this, because the Knights, this is a series that I really wish would come back. I mean, really, really come back with some over-the-top flair, especially with today's technology, gaming technology, especially with the way the gameplay was with this. I just really wish that it would come back. I haven't played this yet. I've seen some footage, but knowing how cheap it was, I had to definitely get it, because I wanted to get back to having some of the Knights games, and obviously that's only like the first one that I have. The final two things that I want to show you guys here isn't games. Well, it's based off of games, but it's actually two more amiibos. I haven't even opened them just yet. But it's from the 30th anniversary of Zelda. This one right here is from Ocarina of Time. There's Link right there holding his ocarina. I haven't opened him just yet. He's blowing away on it. And of course this one is also Link from The Legend of Zelda, his little 8-bit self. I was really surprised when I walked into Walmart and saw these. I knew that they were available online, but when I went and actually checked for myself and saw that they were in there, I immediately jumped on them, because I knew that I was going to want them. I knew that I had been waiting for them for a long time, and I was just so surprised to find that they were there. And there's another one that's actually the tune versions of Link and Zelda as well from Wind Waker, and they're actually in a double pack, like a dual pack, but I don't really want those per se. But if I can find them, if I kind of felt like, yeah, maybe I'll go ahead and pick them up, then maybe I will. I don't know, but it's like $25 for both of them together, and I think you can only get them in a dual pack. I don't think you can get them separately or anything like that. But anyways, that is my current pickups. That's also my Black Friday pickups. I know I didn't say everything that I got for Black Friday there, but I'll just do that real quick. Darksiders, how much did I get that for? Oh wait, I didn't get that as a Black Friday sale. Sorry. Recore, I mentioned that before. I got that for like 15. Let's see. Gears of War 4, I got that for 30. Let's see. What else did I have here? Uncharted, I got that for like 15 as well. I got Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 for 30. Dragon Ball Fusion, as a matter of fact, was like 30 something like that. So that really wasn't a Black Friday sale or nothing like that. That was just kind of the normal price that it was going to have on it. And I think that's pretty much about it. Yeah. So, anyways, I'll go ahead and end this like I always do. Later, taters. Have a lovely evening.